I'm Heather Hayes. Coming up next on Fox 4 News, dramatic video of a police shooting in Dallas that started when a stolen truck rammed a police car. Plus, fighting back against inflation, how shoppers are pressuring companies to lower their prices. All next on Fox 4 News at 4.
More local news every day. You're watching Fox 4 at 4.
That no day, that no call is routine for our men and women.
The Dallas police chief says his officers helped to get dangerous criminals off the street after what started as a stop for a stolen car ended with bullets flying. Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes.
And I'm Hannah Battah. Thank you for joining us for Fox 4 News at 4. It's a case that officers say they're all too familiar with when it comes to repeat offenders. Plus, the energy company that powers Houston is facing tough questions from state lawmakers.
Yeah, they want to know why hundreds of thousands of people were left without power for more than a week after Hurricane Beryl.
And we had a nice break from the heat, but we say so long to that. Summer in full swing. The details on just how hot it will get straight ahead.
All right, Allie, thank you. And we're going to get back to Allie in just a few minutes. But first, this afternoon, we want to begin with dramatic video. It was actually just released from a police-involved shooting that happened last week in Dallas.
Yes, so police were investigating a stolen pickup truck at an apartment complex when the driver rammed a police car. 4 people inside that truck took off running. Take a look.
God! You good? Get up! That's a ram.
Police ended up shooting one suspect. He survived, and officers provided medical aid until the ambulance arrived there.
And police arrested 2 other suspects. A 4th suspect got away. So let's check in with Fox 4's David Santandri. David, I know you're at the news conference this afternoon, and the police chief gave you more information on the investigation. What can you tell us?
Well, I asked the chief of police if any of these suspects fired their weapons at these officers. And after reviewing all of that footage, he says no. He says none of these suspects actually fired their weapons at these officers. But he says, make no mistake, what he sees on that video, he considers aggravated assault. Aggravated assault. Of course, we're talking about that truck being driven into these police cruisers with those officers inside. So it appears at this point in time, he is fully backing his officers with those shots fired based upon the evidence that he's seen at hand. Of course, this was a stolen truck that officers were initially called out to this apartment complex for, turned into something much more than that. Police recovered several stolen guns from the suspects, including one with a Glock switch and extended magazine. 3 of the 4 suspects are in custody, as y'all mentioned. One of them, 19-year-old Deontay Moore, had 2 capital murder warrants dating back to March from a convenience store shooting on Dixon Avenue. In that case, an affidavit reads that Moore was allegedly purchasing Glock switches from 2 young men that he killed. Dallas PD's gang unit identified him through his Instagram page. So while Thursday's call started off related to that stolen vehicle, that stolen truck, the chief believes these suspects are associated in very high-risk behavior, and that stolen truck may just be a microcosm of the lifestyles they're living.
32 years of law enforcement experience tells me that this was just not a stolen vehicle, that this was not just a joyride or someone stopping in an apartment complex. I feel that there was likely something far more nefarious planned that day. Someone is alive today. I fully believe this because of the actions of our men and women and the actions of those officers that day.
And names of those others involved. 17-year-old Eric Lampkin Scarborough is the suspect who was shot. Some of that body camera footage shows officers treating him for quite some time after they located him behind an apartment after chasing him for a bit. And then 21-year-old Damon Price, the alleged driver of that stolen truck. Both facing multiple charges. And again, police still searching for that fourth suspect at this point in time. Those officers, standard protocol, they will be under internal investigation while they figure out what was going on their end. But for now, Heather, Hannah, I'll send it back to y'all in the studio.
All right, quick question for you, David, because you mentioned this fourth person, so that's what a lot of folks are going to want to know. Any word? Did the police chief mention that?
Yeah, we asked him about that, but he says he does not have any sort of updates from last week. So this person is out there. It's unclear if they've had an opportunity to interview the suspects already in custody. One of them is still at a hospital, the one who was shot. But, you know, you got to assume that these detectives, some of the first questions they're going to be asking is to see if they can get any information to identify that fourth person who's still out there.
Right. Okay. David Santendri, thank you.
Appreciate it. Well, state investigators revealed more today about a domestic disturbance that led to a deadly police shooting in Tarrant County. Police in Benbrook shot and killed 36-year-old Kenneth Woods last Wednesday. His mother told 911 he refused to let her and her younger children leave their apartment. Well, when police arrived, they heard gunshots in the apartment and saw Woods jumping from a second-floor window. Police shot him after officers say he refused commands to drop the gun. No one else was injured. Texas DPS is leading that investigation. A 14-year-old was shot outside a Dallas nightclub over the weekend.
Yeah, the club's located in downtown. It was actually hosting an end-of-summer bash. It was Sunday night. That's when shots were fired at a nearby park. Fox 4's Stephen Dial in studio with more. Stephen.
Dallas police told us the 14-year-old was shot in the arm and they have no suspect information at this time. Now, investigators told me the teen was outside of the club with a group of people when they heard people fighting. Gunshots were fired and the teen was shot. This happened around 11:30 Sunday night on Pacific Ave. What's unclear is if the altercation stemmed from something that happened inside the club. Another question that's not been answered is, was this party for teenagers at the club? Again, Dallas police has no suspect description, and we do not know if only one person fired gunshots or multiple people. Hannah.
Well, lawmakers grilled electric providers about the preparation and response to Hurricane Beryl. A Senate committee held a hearing to get questions from the electric providers, the PUC, and state emergency management. Nearly 3 million people lost power in the Houston area after the Category 1 hurricane made landfall. Officials say 36 people died because of heat complications from losing power. Governor Abbott called for an investigation into that response, primarily from electric provider CenterPoint.
For the people back home that called my office multiple times asking me, did the state not notify CenterPoint? Did the state not notify CenterPoint? The simple answer is,
we notified CenterPoint.
We notified CenterPoint.
Was there adequate preparation, or did any of the utilities really believe this wasn't going to really impact them and therefore were inadequately prepared to deal with it? I think, and you know, Governor Patrick mentioned this in one of the press conferences. I think what this teaches us is all utilities, if you are anywhere where you think a storm could hit, need to be prepared to address the issues that come along with that storm.
Last week, the CenterPoint CEO apologized to customers during a PUC meeting. Company says it'll improve and have already put in some changes in place.
But the weather story this week, it's the heat. A heat advisory today, triple digits by midweek. But you know what, late July, so I guess that's what we get, right? That's what we expect.
Meteorologist Ali Turiano's here. It was fun while it lasted, right? Double digits.
Listen, we were lucky. And when you think about the summer so far compared to last summer, we're doing okay.
But we can still complain, Allie.
That's the one thing everything agrees on. It's either too wet, too dry, too hot, too cold. It's going to be hot, but
we need that perspective, though.
Yeah, you know, heat advisory, it was in effect today. Some more counties have been added. We've got it now extended through tomorrow, and guess what? It'll likely be extended beyond tomorrow, too, because actual temperatures likely to climb a degree or so each day this week, and that feels like temperature will likely be above 105 in several areas. So, yes, uncomfortable. You know, the last couple of days, we had highs in the low and mid 90s this weekend. We're already in the mid 90s in a lot of spots this afternoon. Cloud cover just sprinkling out there at this point with the clouds. No rain in place. High pressure is in control, and that's our dominant weather feature throughout the entire work week. So 95, 96 is going to feel close to that 105-degree mark. So it feels like temperatures pretty high for many of us, and I think more folks will experience that higher humidity in the coming days thanks to a really strong south wind. It's been kind of breezy throughout the day. That's going to continue. Mainly clear skies, a very warm evening, and we get up and we do this all over again tomorrow. The morning, warm, muggy, upper 70s. We're already at 90 degrees by noon, 98 for the high, for the temperature right around 5 o'clock. I'm going to go 98, 99. I've got us at 99 for DFW tomorrow. That will feel like 105. One or two spots could even have a higher heat index up to 107 tomorrow afternoon. So we've got heat, triple digits, back in the forecast eventually, but we also have a front to talk about. Details on that coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Allie, thank you. Coming up here on Fox 4 News at 4, a massive fire is burning across part of California.
We have local firefighters who are making that long journey to help battle this blaze.
Plus, shoppers say they have had enough. Which companies are now ready to give them more?
Thank you for watching Fox 4 at 4 o'clock. New time, same Judy. Here for you at 3. If you
$8. My goodness. It must have been the best gum ever. Hey, what a day, right? Heat, a little bit of humidity. It's end of July, North Texas. I hope you enjoyed the last 8 to 10 days with our cooler temperatures that we had, because now we're starting to see the climb. Strong southerly winds out there today, cranking the heat, mid and upper 90s across our Fox 4 views. Just some fair weather clouds after starting out partly to mostly cloudy this morning. Radars quiet. You can hear a pin drop, and that's how it's going to stay for the entire work week. It will look like this. High pressure is in control, and it's going to build overhead for us, and that acts like a shield. It's going to sit right here, and all the storms will ride around it. So until it moves out of the way, we won't have any rain chances. It's not until the weekend that it shifts ever so slightly. But here's the deal. Our temperatures are climbing, mid to upper 90s today, upper 90s again tomorrow, so on and so forth. Yes, I have triple digits back in the forecast. And then by the end of the work week into the weekend, our ridge weakens ever so slightly. It allows a front to get close to us and likely wash out. So what does that mean? Not a great rain chance, and definitely no huge temperature drop. Instead, a very low chance for your weekend. So if you have outdoor plans, rain is not going to hamper most of them. We're talking 10%, maybe 20% on Saturday. That is it. In terms of temperatures, it's a steady climb each and every day. Upper 90s tomorrow. We're at the century mark Wednesday. Low 101, low 100s Thursday. Friday, we're still at 100 Saturday, even with that front moving through. Now, in terms of our rain chance, I've got us at that stray storm potential, and that is it. So back again, we'll talk more about just looking at the next couple of days. Our temperatures really slowly changing here through the late night hours. Upper 70s to near 80 degrees in the morning, really uncomfortable. But we're back with upper 90s tomorrow afternoon. And then we are looking at much of the same heading into your Wednesday as well. Just know that you can tack on 5 or 6 degrees. That's your feels like. And as we head into the month of August, that long range outlook, it looks like it's going to be a hot one. There's for you with those temperatures really starting to climb.
Lots of triple digits. Allie, thank you. So you can get updates on the heat advisory on the Fox 4 weather app. The app also has live radar and severe weather watches and warnings. Plus, you can watch live newscasts on the app. Just scan the QR code. It's right there on your screen. The app is free to download.
You're watching Fox 4 at 4.
Well, President Joe Biden is in Texas commemorating the 60th anniversary of the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
And the president is also calling for sweeping reforms to the Supreme Court and changes to presidential immunity. Fox 4's Sean Rabb in the newsroom now with more. Sean.
The president wants an 18-year term limit for Supreme Court justices and an ethics code that carries weight for the justices to abide by, and changes that would prohibit across-the-board immunity for presidents after the Supreme Court ruled former President Donald Trump is immune from prosecution for official acts. Texas native Ruthie Foster saying it feels like freedom with the TSU choir at the LBJ Presidential Live comes after the Supreme Court ruled President Trump has immunity for his actions around the attack on the Capitol January 6th and efforts to overthrow the election. Before that, the court voting to overturn Roe v. Wade and other decades-long standing precedents.
The court's being used to weaponize an extreme and unchecked agenda This decision is a total affront to the basic expectations we have for those who wield the power in this nation.